It's debate day, and here in Milwaukee, the crowd is humming. The people on the street are awaiting a big debate, and we're not going to disappoint you. You know, we know who's here and who isn't. There are some people who are disappointed they are not here, but we've got all of your questions and answers about the debate. We're going to break down what to expect and how it all happens, take you behind the scenes with a lot of insight that I don't think anyone else can bring you today. You know, while you may think the DNC and the Biden posse aren't here in person, think again. The DNC and the Biden campaign are making their presence known in Milwaukee. Are you ready? We have a lot to get to tonight. This is big news. This is going to be the kickoff of the political season. We've already seen a bunch of candidates not make today's stage. The ones on the stage, what are they going to say? How are they going to act? How are they going to react? What is the Trump campaign doing? What is the DNC doing? A lot to get into. But before we get into all of that, and we will, if you're watching on YouTube, do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button, click the notification button. So important to our success. And regardless, if you can go on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, subscribe there as well. Those subscriptions really help us flourish and help the show get better known. So I appreciate it. No matter where you are, if you can go on every one of them, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Rumble. And then, by the way, if you have friends or family that are at the house, ask them to borrow their devices. Subscribe for them as well. It's like an early Christmas present. You know what I'm saying? Be helpful. Let's educate America one by one. Anyway, before we get into all that we're going to get into on the debate and everything that's happened politically speaking, you know the debate's tonight, because this is what we've been talking about. This is what the political world has been waiting for. Republican, Democrat, media. I mean, everybody. I mean, I'm walking down the street here in Milwaukee the last couple of days, and I think you got a bunch of media, but you've also got a bunch of foreign media. I saw someone from an embassy the other day. Everybody, not just in the country, but I think around the world is going to be looking tonight. And what's so interesting about what we're going to talk about now is I ran these debates in 2015. And I want you to have context because it's important. What a lot of these folks in the media do is they got assigned to come cover a debate. That's great. Here's the difference though. I actually ran them in 2015. Up until that point, up until 2015, and I've told you the folks this before, but it's a reminder, neither party had control of their party's platform. I mean, literally, Reince Priebus and I, when we got into the RNC, Reince had been elected chairman, I got brought in as his comms director. We go off to Iowa, the site of the first debate in 2012. It was actually 2011, I think. And we literally had to call up the state party chairman, a guy by the name of Matt Strawn, and ask him for 2 tickets to our party's debate in Iowa. And he was like, let me see what I can do. Great guy, nice guy, very accommodating. But the party, the national party, had nothing to do with the debate. Nothing. And frankly, neither had the DNC. The DNC had tried it, but they had nothing to do with it either. Well, after 2012, we realized that candidates were running around the country, literally running around the country, debate to debate. There was no rhyme or reason when the debates were, who was hosting them. One instance that happened in New Hampshire was insane. There was a debate on a Saturday and then one on a Sunday. That was crazy. Like, what changed? Debates take up 2 big things from a campaign: time and money. I mean, if you walk around Milwaukee now, you'll see, you know, they've brought their teams in, their operation, their surrogates, right? That costs money. And it takes time away from their schedule that they can be out in Iowa or New Hampshire or South Carolina. We're here in Milwaukee, the site of the convention, which is something that we started in 2012. So for all those people that say it happens all the time, it didn't. It actually, first time we ever did this, rather, was 2015. We thought, what better place to kick it off than Cleveland? The RNC must, by rule, have its summer meeting in the city that we're hosting the convention. So in 2016, that was Cleveland. And we thought, what better place to kick it off than what would be the host of the convention? And so the RNC this time followed the lead of what we did last time. But for all these folks in the media that say this happens all the time, not true. It happened once. I led that effort. They just don't want to tell you about it because, again, they got assigned to cover a debate and they don't know what they're talking about. This is going to be a really interesting scenario, though, because some things have improved and some things haven't. The candidates that are here tonight, there'll be 8 of them on stage. Trump won't be one of them. There are 3 or 4 that are really upset. They're saying that the RNC rigged the system. I'm sorry. You couldn't get 1% in the polls and you think you're going to be the nominee of the Republican Party? I tweeted this out earlier because apparently Will Hurd, the former congressman from Texas, is upset. He's saying the RNC rigged the process against him. That's right. They rigged it against Will Hurd the same way that the NBA rigged it so that I couldn't go into the slam dunk contest. This is insane. You had to get 1%. You didn't get it. I'm sorry, this is nothing personal. I've met Will Hurd. He seems like a nice guy. He's served his country. He was in the CIA before going to Congress. I like him. He seems like a nice person that cares about America. But at some point, if you can't get 1%, you're not going to be the nominee of the party. The first caucus in Iowa is January 15th. No, sorry. I was walking around Iowa last week. You guys saw some of those videos. No one's talking about Will Hurd. I mean, frankly, Asa Hutchinson, Doug Burgum, a lot of these other guys barely made the 1%. And you think somehow that like you're the guy. Here's the other dirty secret that I just want to tell you about. It's really interesting because everyone goes, well, I should have made the stage. Why? Do you know how many people actually file to run for president? These are the ones that you know about, the ones that we talk about, right? But there's like 300 people that file with the Federal Election Commission to run for president. What's the threshold? If we don't make it some polling thing, and I get it's not perfect, then what should it be? Because, I mean, think about it. Should be because you held office, Will Hurd, you were a congressman. Donald Trump had never held office. Vivek Ramaswamy never held office. By the way, Vivek Ramaswamy's at like 6, 7, 8% in the polls. He's raised $5.7 million. So a guy who's never held anything, he raised 2.7 of that from donors, gave some of it himself. But here's the point. Why should it just because you held office? Mayor Francis Suarez is the mayor of Miami. Should that be it? There's another guy that used to be mayor of Cranston, Rhode Island, by the way. He's not even here tonight. He wants to run too. He now lives in Colorado. What's the bar? If you don't have some kind of objective standard that anybody should be in, and it's not a debate, it's just a cattle call. So I get it's not perfect, but I'm sorry for the folks who didn't make it. You're nice people. I think you care about the party. I think you care about the country. But you didn't get enough support, and we're 5 months away from the debate. So we are here tonight. We will see 8 candidates. I want to break this down for you, because there's going to be, I think, sort of 3 kind of candidate approaches tonight. You're going to have the Chris Christie kamikaze, right? He's just going to wake up and go, Donald Trump's bad, Donald Trump's bad, Donald Trump's bad. I'm going to tell you why that's a stupid approach. Let's just say hypothetically that that is the most effective approach, and people say, Chris Christie, you're right, I heard what you said, I don't like Donald Trump anymore. Well, they don't necessarily benefit Chris Christie, does it? Just because you decide that you don't, there's 7 other people up there tonight. So maybe they agree with you, Chris Christie, that Donald Trump is horrible, he's a bad person. You're not going to be the beneficiary. So I would argue that that strategy is not beneficial. Then there are some people who are going to go after other candidates. Maybe they go after DeSantis, maybe they go after. I would say that that's kind of the same bucket here. Well, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get more.